Let's go next.
Alright guys, so here we go. You guys should have your packet. We're going to be talking about the Japanese internment. If you look in your packet, you'll see a timeline in the front. You look behind that, you'll have your graphic organizer. So we won't be talking about the newsreel, but we'll jump into the primary sources right away. You should have all four. I believe they are the Munson report, which is document B. You have the crisis, which is from the NAACP, which is a good one. Document D is Supreme Court ruling, and then document E is personal justice denied. We'll be looking at documents together. As you guys look in your graphic organizer, you'll be answering questions more as far as citing evidence and reasons for that evidence, and then you guys will be giving me a hypothesis, right? Our focus question here on the board is why were Japanese Americans interned during World War I? Does anybody know anything about this before we get into it? Anybody heard about certain internment camps in California or other parts of the nation? Anybody ever heard about the book Farewell to Manzanar?
Yes.
It's a good book. It's a good book about the internment camp in Manzanar, which is up in Northern California, I believe, by Fresno a little bit. It's a pretty good novel. It's obviously about this exactly, families being taken away from their homes on the ocean front and then taken into the desert.
The book Night. The book Night by Ellie Weasel.
Well, that's more a little bit concentration camps, but she does talk about the Japanese. Very good. All right, so the first thing I want us to look at is this timeline. So it's on the front of your packet. So we'll go over this. It's kind of just how Japanese people got here and kind of towards the end of their internment. So 1891, immigrants arrived in the U.S., mainly to work. Most of them are farmers. 1906, the San Francisco Board of Education passes resolutions to segregate white children from any Chinese, Japanese, or Korean ancestry. So this is where we start seeing some segregation in schools between Asian descent and white kids in a sense. 1913, California passed the Alien Land Law, forbidding all aliens ineligible for citizenship from owning land. So what does that mean? Go ahead.
Anyone from a foreign alien could not able to own property?
Yeah, so no one who is not a citizen could own a property. Very good, right? So even if they're here and farming on maybe their own land, all of a sudden it was taken away from them because they didn't have citizenship. Very good. 1924, Congress passed the Immigration Act of 1924, effectively ending all Japanese immigration in the U.S. Pretty much, we have too many Japanese immigrants, we don't want any more, kind of closing the borders kind of thing. November 41 is a monthly report, which we will read, is document B. December 7th, 1941, the day that we'll live in. Day that we'll live in? What is the quote?
Memory.
No. Infamy, not infamous, but infamy. All right. 1942 again, February 19th. This is the Executive Order 9066. Excuse me. This authorization for President Roosevelt give the military the right to go in and take people out of their houses and move them without a trial or a hearing, right? They weren't being arrested or anything, but they're being extracted out of their homes and moved without, wanting a ride, need a trial, need a hearing. No, here you go. January 1943, War Department announces the formation of a segregated unit of Japanese American soldiers. So now we see even the military is being segregated. Your Japanese descent, you're going to put it with your people in that group. 1944, the War Department imposes a draft of Japanese Americans, including those incarcerated in camps. So even if you're sent into a camp, they start drafting anybody who is Japanese just because of what happened in Pearl Harbor, right? So they're kind of discriminating against Japanese Americans. December 1944. Another document that we'll read. This record upheld the constitutionally of Executive Order 9066 in Coors Matu versus the United States. March 20th, 1946, the last war relocation authority facility, the Tulu Lake Segregation Center, is closed. So this is finally everybody in any internment camps are going home. Now let's get to the 80s. 1980, the Commission of Wartime Relocation and Internment of Civilians was established. So now they're thinking about what happened and what to do about it 40 years later. 83, the Commission of Wartime Relocation and Internment of Civilians issues a report, Personal Justice and I, which we'll read, which is in document E. And then this last part of the timeline is August 10th, 1988. To me, it doesn't seem that long ago because I was actually alive at this time. Ronald Reagan signs H.R. 442 into law, which finally, 46 years later, the U.S. acknowledges that what they did to put Japanese Americans in internment camps was wrong, and so they paid them reparations at $20,000 for each person that was incarcerated. Now, the word incarcerated should be, something. When we think incarcerated, we think what? Prison, right? So it's kind of a bad thing, the fact that they were used incarcerated instead of just internment. They're not using concentration, or we're not thinking Holocaust or anything like that. But incarcerated would mean that most likely that you were put in prison. Right? So keep an eye on this timeline because it does tell a story. All right, so as you guys turn the page, you'll see your graphic organizer. You'll skip the first one, round one, where it says the document reel. Since we don't have the internet access right now, we'll skip that and hopefully we can view it on Monday. Skip down to round two. So round two is a monthly report and the crisis article, right? I want you guys to read both documents in your group. Read one at a time, right? You read document B first. There is vocabulary there. If you guys see any, you guys don't understand those words, read that vocabulary. And then go into the reasons. So what does a monthly report give as reasons for internment, right? And what's the evidence that you guys find in that document? Right? Take your time. We'll kind of discuss it. We'll have some discussion based on it. Bless you.
Thank you.
We'll have some discussion based on it, and then we'll see what kind of hypothesis you guys have for actually, Japanese Americans being interned. All right? Get to reading.